Welcome back to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this maxi jumpsuit with halter neck and a rope. As you can see right there, it also have a cut together pocket with belt, as you can see. This is actually a very simple tutorial. I'll be sharing with you the tips and tricks to sewing this jumpsuit right the way it is with a lower crouch. Okay, as you can see right there in the video, you can see the crouch is a little bit very low, as you can see right here. So I'll be teaching you how to go about this beautiful maxi jumpsuit. So if this is what you want to learn, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial to learn how to sew this beautiful jumpsuit. And thank you very much for joining Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. So please stay till the end of this tutorial to learn the tips and tricks to making. So to begin this tutorial, I'll be working with a silk fabric. Okay, so it can be a silk, it can be a crepe, it can be a lycra fabric. So whatever fabric that you know is light, even Ankara can even sew this jumpsuit. So what I have here is 3.5 yards. Okay, I'm working with 3.5 yards. Reason because I want to connect my pocket directly to this. So on the yardage part of this, I'm going to fold my 3.5 yards into 2 equal folds. That's on the yardage part. I'll fold it into 2 equal folds. After which I fold it, I'm going to fold it again. So after the first fold on the yardage part, I also folded it again another time. Okay, so this is it. I folded it into 4 times because we are going to work on this as a quarter. So after that, the next thing now is to start marking out our vertical measurement. So now I'm going to, on the folded parts, so the folded parts, I'm going to mark out 6 inches and I'm going to rule that 6 inches to the hem. So I'm going to rule that 6 inches to the hem. So you just have to mark out 6 inches, 6 inches, and I'll rule that 6 inches all the way to the hem. Okay, so now I've marked my 6 inches from the folded parts, as you can see. So the next thing I will take now is my vertical measurement. So starting all the way from the edge, I'm going to place my tape and measure 1.5 inch. So this 1.5 inches is going to serve as my my rope casing. So I still place my tape at that 1.5 inch and measure my chest line. After my chest line, I'm going to take the measurement of my waistline. After that, I'll take the measurement of my hip line. My hip line is at 29 inches. Then I'm going to use what I have on the dress. I have 58 inches as my full length. So that is what I'm going to use for this, 58 inches. So you can make your length a little bit longer. So that means you have to get more fabric for yourself. But for this tutorial, I'll just work with what I have. So now I have my vertical lines, my elastic casing, my chest line, my waistline, my hip line. So another line that we need to mark out now is our crouch line. So to get this crouch line, this is my waistline. Okay, so we are going to take our measurement from this waistline for our crouch. So this is my hip. My hip circumference is 48. Divided by 4 will give me 12 inches. Okay, So simply add 5 inches to 12 inches, which is 1 2 3 4 5 17. So that is going to be our crouch line. So my hip circumference divided by 4 is 12 plus 5 inches. If you look at the video on the thumbnail, you notice that the crouch really came much down. It's not like the normal trouser, you just add 2 inches to your hip circumference from your crouch. For this, I'm using 5 inches. So I place my tape on the waistline and I'm going to measure 17 inches, which I just calculated, and that is my crouch line. So that is how to get your crouch line, and we are done with this. So the next measurement we want to start taking now is the vertical measurement. I'll come back to the beginning of my marking. From this 6 inches extension, I'll place my tape on the first line, which is the rope casing line. I'm going to measure my shoulder, which is 9 inches, divided by 2 is 8 inches. My shoulder is 16 divided by 2, 8 inches. I'll add 1 inch for the sleeve wrapping. We are using a bias to tape it, so I'll just add 1 inch. I'll come back to the waist, to the bust line. So on the chest line, from that same point, I'll place my tape on the chest line, and I'm going to measure from that point. I'm going to measure my bust circumference divided by 4 is 10. My bust is 40 divided by 4 is 10 inches. I'll just add 3 inches. So whatever your bust circumference divided by 4 is, add 3 inches to it and make a mark at that. So after marking at that point on the chest line, I'm going to connect what I have from here using my pattern ruler. So I'll just go in with the curved part of my ruler like this and connect this part straight. Okay, so this is going to be cut straight. So I believe you see what I'm marking right here. So just follow my lines. So after marking out, connecting the armhole, the next will come over is to the waist. On the waistline, I'm going to place my tape on the waistline from that point, center front, and I'm going to measure my waist circumference divided by 4 is also 10. I'll add 3 inches to it, which is 13. So I'm going to connect what I have there to the chest line. So I'll just connect it like this to the chest line. So I'll come over to the hip. I'm going to measure my hip circumference. So from the hip line, my hip circumference divided by 4 is 12. I'll add 3 inches again to it. So these 3 inches we are adding is serving as both ease and seam allowance. So I'll go ahead and place my pattern ruler like this, and I'm going to connect all the way. Can you see that? I'm going to connect everything all the way to that point. So the next thing I want to mark out now, I'll come over and take what I have on the hip line. So on the hip line, I measured from that point 15 inches. Okay, after I'm going to take the 15 inches I just got here now, which is my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 3 inches. You know I marked at 15 and connected, so I'll take that 15 inches over to the hem. Starting from this 6 inches line, I'll just measure 15 inches and mark. Okay, so but because I want to make a little A line to it, I'll add 2 more inches, which is 17. So I'll mark from here now. I'm going to mark 17 inches. So just add 2 inches to your measurement. Okay, so which is 17. I'll mark at 17. So I'm going to connect from that A line. I'm going to connect from here now. I'll take it all the way from that 17 inches, I'll connect it as a little A line to the hip line. Okay, so you can see my marking to the hip line. So after that is done, the next we will do is to come over to the crouch. So this is the crouch line. I'm going to extend the crouch line. On the crouch line from this 6 inches line, I'm going to take the measurement of 3.5 inches for my crouch extension. So from this point that connects this, I'll place my tape right here and measure and mark diagonally. I'm marking 1.5. So I'll just connect to that 1.5 line, and I'll take it all the way to the hip line. So this is my hip line. I'll connect my crouch line to the hip line. So the next I will do is to connect what I have from that 3.5 line in an A-line form. I'll mark in an A-line form all the way to the tip of the hem. Okay, all the way to the tip of the hem. So now we are done with this. The next is the pocket. This is my waistline, the waistline, and that is where I'm going to have my pocket. So I'm cutting everything together. That's why I asked you to use 3.5 here. So by the time you fold it 4 times, you'll be able to have your pocket cut together with your fabric. So from the pocket, from the waistline, I'll come down by 1 inch for my pocket, and from that point I'm going to measure 7 inches. So I'm going to place my hand like this. You can see how I slanted my hand, and I'll take the shape from that 7 inches. I'll just take, you know, the normal way we have our pocket, I'll just take it slanted. So this is what I did. From this 1 inch, I slanted my pocket all the way slanted. You can see how I'm connecting it like this, and I'll take it all the way to that 1 inch. My pocket opening here is at 7 inches. So I'm going to cut out what I have right here. So I'll cut my fabric from here. I'll take it, cut it this way. I'm going to cut it off camera. Just follow the lines, the chalk lines, and cut. So I'll just go ahead and cut. Once I get to the pocket, I'll go into the pocket like that. Then when I come for at the front, I'll cut on this line, take it all the way to the crouch line and cut. I'm cutting right now. So this is what I have from the shoulder line. You can see I have the 4 pieces we folded right here. So I have to follow all the chalk markings we made, the 1.5 inch pocket, 1.5 inch rope encasement to the armhole. You can see that, to the hip line, to my pockets. You can see the pockets which we cut all the way to the hem, so to the crouch. So I follow the line of 6 inches and cut. So now we are going to sew them together. So this is the full view of what your jumpsuit looks like. Okay, so we are going to join the crouch part right now. So you can see the pocket is cut together to the fabric right now. So let us go ahead and join. So right now I'll go over to my machine. I'm going to pick two pieces of them, and I'm going to join them, the 2 pieces of it. Okay, so I'll just join from beginning to the end, join the other one from beginning to the end. Then I'll show you how to lay it. Now I'm done joining on the crouch line. So you can see the joining of 0.5 inch up to the crouch line. Okay, so this is the back piece of it. But for the front piece of it, I left an opening of 7 inches, okay, to enable the neckline to pass through. So if you look at the video, you can see that we have a little opening. So this opening is 7.5, 7 inches from here to here, okay, where I started stitching. So I'll just go ahead and tuck this in and run a stitch on it. I'll just tuck in and run a stitch on it. After, all right, so here I've already folded it in. That is the 7 yards I measured. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to come over with my bias. So I'm going to tape the armhole area. So normal way of taping your bias, just open up and place. So let me do that. I will use it to finish the armholes. All right, so I'm done taping the armhole with my bias, as you can see, and I did that for the front piece. So I'll now go ahead and fold in 1/2 inch and then 1 inch. So that is the 1.5 inch, 1.5 inches that we left at the beginning of this tutorial. So I'll just go ahead and top stitch on top of it. So for the front piece, you also notice that the front piece has an opening at the front, and the armhole has been taped. So they are just separate pieces. I'll also fold in 1/2 inch and fold in 1 inch and top stitch. That is for the rope casing. So after I'm done with the rope casing, I'm going to place them together. So now I'm done taping it, as you can see right there. I also did the same for the front. So you can see it's taped. Can you see that? So I'm going to place the back on top of the front, right side to right side. So what I'm trying to do now is to sew the sides together. So I'll just go ahead and match up the pockets right side to right side with my pin. Then I'll take this to the armhole. So I'll just place it like this. So I'm going to stitch at 0.5 inch. When I get to the pocket, I'll sew into the pocket. I'll return and I'll sew to the hem. So I will do that first. After sewing the pocket side, then I'll show you how to sew the crouch part. So after you are done sewing, you can see the side I've sewn it with the pockets. So to the end, I did the same for the other side as well. So you will now have everything this way. So I'll just go ahead and match these two together, seam line to seam line, match them together, sew from one end to the end and from the other end to the end. Let me do that. I'm done sewing the crouch part. I stitched to the end of this dress, as you can see. So our palazzo or our maxi jumpsuit is ready. So now the casing, I have my strip for my casing right now. So the length of my strip for my casing here is 60 inches, okay? So you can make it as long as you wish. You can see I have it at 60 inches. And the width is 2 inches. You can also, it depends on how bold you want it to be. So for me, I just want it a spaghetti strip right here. So now I'll go ahead and do what? I'm going to fold in 1/2 inch or a little 1/2 inch this way. I'll put them together and I'm going to run a straight stitch. You might also decide to, for this starting point, you can fold this way and close it up. Of course, that's how I'm going to do that. So I'll go over to my machine now. I'm going to sew my rope. Then I'll also sew my belt. So my belt, this is the belt width. The belt width is as big as you wish, but for me, I have it at 7 inches. And the length is as long as I wish to tie my belt. For this, I'll just go ahead and stitch close this part, stitch 1/2 inch. Then at the end of the day, I'll turn it with my screwdriver. So I'm going to finish it up now and we are done. I'm done sewing my rope. So this is what I have. So I'm using my safety pin to pass the rope. So I'm going to pass my rope through the casing right now. So I will advise you to start passing it from the center front, okay, where we have the slit, because it has to go round from there, form the strap for us, then return back again. Okay, so it's going to form the strap for us now. Okay, then I'll pass it again through here. Then I'll pass it again through the armhole part, and then I'll come out to the center front. So it's this at this center front that we are going to control it. So don't forget to knot the end of this rope so it does not slip in back into the line. Can you see that? So I'll adjust it like this. So when I wear this dress, the adjustment will be from the center front. Okay, so it's going to be from the center front. So for now, I'll just make like a bow to it. I'll just make a bow, just a little bow. Then here will be my once I wear it, I'll start controlling it. So let me just turn the whole dress to the front so you understand what we are talking about. Can you see that? So this is where we'll have the drape. So if I wear it, I'll control it from here. Can you see that? So this is actually looking very beautiful. So the next is my rope for the waistline. So if I wear it, I can go ahead and tie on the waistline. So here is my rope. Like I said, I closed one part of it. So this part I closed. I'll use my screwdriver, my loop turner, or whatever I have. I'll just go ahead and take it to the beginning like that. So once I turn it from here, everything from here, I have my full rope. So I'll now go in to my machine and fold in 1/2 inch and top stitch right on top of it. We are done, and this is my rope, okay, and this is the jumpsuit. So thank you very much for coming to this tutorial. You can now go ahead and give it a good press. So you can see at the center we have the opening. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you once again. See you in the next class. Bye.